So if your drive is anything like mine, it is a big hot mess with stuff all over the place from the past couple of years of remote learning, and before that, a lot of transition to digital learning and Google Drive, and we're using Google Classroom. So I just have a really big mess. And today I am going to, the objective of this video is to help you get just organized enough so that when you are searching in the drive, you can be more productive. To get you organized, I'm going to guide you through a few different strategies you can use to get your drive cleaned up and everything that you currently have, without having to look at everything, narrowed down to 2 folders, as you can see here. So you may be thinking, why would I want to do this? So this all goes back to being able to search more efficiently. So right now, when you're searching, if you go into your drive and start searching, and you put in plant adoption, it's a project I did last year. And when I type it into my drive, it is endless. All the assignments that have been turned in, the copies of the assignments turned in by my students. But if I use my 2 folder system that I have made in my drive, and I change it to only search in one of the folders that I'm going to show you how to make, and change my results, when I search for plant adoption, I only get my one document that I am actually needing. To get started, we're going to create 2 new folders in your drive, and I'm going to go real quick through showing you how to do that. So you're going to right click, new folder, and then name it. The first one I'm naming is a very important one. It's student work, and I'm not going to touch it. So I need something to let me know, don't touch this folder, leave it alone. And then I'm going to make another folder that's for everything else I can touch. I'm just calling it Heather stuff. It probably should be just called like the hot mess folder or all the stuff folder, but it's for everything else that I can touch. Now we're going to start moving folders that contain student work that we want to make sure and keep and not mess with into the student work folder that we created. So you have an assignments folder. This is where your Google assignments are being saved. There's a folder for each of your classes, and inside of those, a folder for each assignment. I'm going to take that assignments folder and drag it into the student work folder, where I'm just going to leave it alone. I do not need to mess with that folder. You also likely have a Google Classroom folder. Again, it's full of lots of student records and work. I don't want to get rid of it, but I do want to move it somewhere I'm just not even going to be thinking about it anymore. I'm going to drag and drop it into that student work leave alone folder. And so that folder is full of things that I don't want to delete, but I'm not going to be messing with them at all. Once I get all that student work moved out of the way, then I can start focusing on the stuff that I do use every day. So I'm going to move everything else into your folder. I called mine Heather stuff. I'm not sure what you called yours, but wherever that other second folder is that you created, we're going to begin moving. And I can hold down Shift and select multiple folders at the same time. And I'm going to drag that into my folder, Heather stuff. I'm going to move everything over. I can even move over folders that are shortcuts to maybe a shared folder. So I just have that shortcut link in my drive, like that ITS folder you see there. And I'm going to select those folders, and I'm going to move them into that folder that I created that is going to have everything that I do want to use on a daily basis. Now, you're going to have a lot of files. So the next step, after we get all those folders moved in, is going to be to look at how we start moving a lot of files. So my biggest issue in my drive is not necessarily those folders, but it's all that stuff. When I go to my drive, it's listed just files. I have hundreds, probably thousands. It's pretty bad. So I need to get all that stuff, and I need to move it into Heather's stuff. I want it there because, it probably could be deleted, but sometimes I'm not really good when I'm saving my stuff, saving it to my content folder or my science folder or my social studies folder. And so I need to start moving that stuff over. So You can select multiple files at one time. As you see, as I'm holding down my mouse and I drag across the files, they do begin to highlight. So I can grab, let's see, I have 12 of them there on the screen. I can drag all 12 at the same time. And I'm not worried about where they're going to go right now. So I can move them by right clicking and move to, or I can just drag them all up and drop them into Heather's stuff. That's a rainy day project at some point in the future to go and start organizing that stuff. But for now, I want everything to be in that Heather's stuff folder. So now I have my drive, and y'all, it took me hours. Um, I had too much stuff, y'all. So now have a beautiful drive. When I go to my drive, I have a Heather stuff folder and have a student work leave alone folder. That's student work. This is all stuff I just need to leave alone. You should be accessing student work. You can get that through Canvas. There's really not a whole lot of reason for you to come here and start pulling student work out or copies of anything out. So all of this stuff that's in this student work leave alone, just leave it alone. Everything I'm going to be doing now is going to be in Heather stuff. Now, Heather stuff folder is a big mess, once again, but the great thing about this now is that when I want to try and find something, and I'll be honest, I'm pretty good about the stuff I use all the time. I'm sorting it into folders. So I have content folders broken down by unit when I go into the different content areas that I've taught in the past. So that's actual teaching materials. And that took me, that was a year and a half of building that in the classroom while I was teaching and organizing myself. It's not something I did over a weekend or after school. It was just something I said, I'm going to start being organized, and I was organized moving forward. And then now that I am in my new role, I have this digital learning ideas. And so as I'm creating projects and assignments for teachers and professional learning stuff, I'm dropping everything into here. And I've started trying to organize it into folders, but then I've already got this whole dumping ground that's going as well. But I know if it's something I made, I can go in here and look for it. It's probably going to be there. But there's those times where I'm like, I'm thinking of something, I went to where I thought it was going to be and it's not there. I don't want to go through this, and y'all, I have so much stuff. My stuff won't even load. Okay. This is like endless. I have too much stuff and videos and all kinds of things. So if I want to search for something, I'm pretty sure I know the name of it. I now, instead of going up to search in Drive, which I can set some filters there, but instead I can go to Heather's stuff folder and I can search just here. So I know that anything that I'm searching for as far as like what I teach is probably going to be here. So I'm just searching in this folder. And so I'm looking for my plant adoption project. And when I search, it's going to go right to what I needed. Now there's all this other junk that may have the name somewhere in it or those keywords somewhere in it. But I immediately get exactly what I was looking for, and it's my version. It's the one that is in my folder. It's not a student copy that is showing up in one of those Google assignment folders, which was the issue earlier, and the issue that so many of you have shared with me. So that is the two folder system in a nutshell. Of course, there's way more ways to organize your drive. This is just one way. And I hope that if you do find time, I know y'all are so busy, but if you do find time to do this, it is going to, number one, when you go in your drive, already I feel so less overwhelmed now when I'm looking at a pretty clean drive. And secondly, it's going to make my searching just so much easier now that I know everything that is a student copy is moved over to the side. Basically, I'm not going to be messing with it. And all of my teaching stuff that I have been working on for the past few years is all going to be in my folder. And I can just now search within that folder to find exactly what I need and hopefully avoid the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of copies of student work that were showing up for you before. Hope this helps. Have a great week.